Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi. We are from group 2, wants to present our case study. So here is our group members. I'm Muhammad Anibir Rosli, my number is 2010.1. So next, this is our presentation overview. So there are 7 key topics for our presentation overview. For the first one is executive summary. Second, introduction. Third, theoretical background. Fourth, analysis and result. Fifth, discussion. Sixth, recommendation. And lastly, conclusions. So, for the first one is executive summary. Provides an analysis and evaluation of the case study in finely defected bottles in cola production per hour. Methods of analysis include using Octave as a tool to solve this case study and discussion between group members, as well as doing some research on the internet. Other calculations include hours of cola bottles production, total cola bottles production per hour, and total defected bottles per production. The reports find the total defected bottles per production and which batch or production should be rejected or sent to be inspected. All of the findings were found using if, else if, else, and structure in Octave software.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Rizal bin Muhammad Zulzain. My entry number is 203727. So I will cover the introduction part. To start off, our group has to make a decision on the process where bottles defects are detected at every hour of production. Therefore, by using if-else kind structure, we need to analyze the defect based on the production hours by using Octave. So basically, what we have learned, there are several control structure, includes if-else and, if-else and, if and, switch case, and others. So regarding to our question, the question asks us to solve the question by using if-else and. So what is the if-else and? If-else and is generally show how the commands are typed in the program and gives a flowchart that illustrates the flow or the sequence in which commands are executed. Briefly, our group will show how to solve the question by using if-else and in order to get the output needed as in the question. So for the further explanation, we will handle by our group mate. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Nazia Zamanhuri and my metric number is 200564. So first today I'm going to explain the theoretical background for our mini project. As Zarif mentioned just now, we are going to use the else, if, else, and structure, which it actually includes 2 conditional statements, the if and else if, that make it possible to select one out of 3 groups of commands for execution. The first line is an if statement with a conditional expression. If the conditional expression is true, the program executes group 1 of commands between the if and the else if statement, and then skips to the end. If the conditional expression in the if statement is false, the program skips to the else if statement. If the conditional expression in the else if statement is true, the program executes group 2 of commands between the else if and the else, and then skips to the end. If the conditional expression is else if statement is false, the program skips to the else and executes group 3 of commands between the else and the end. It should be pointed out here that several else-if statements and associated groups of commands can be added. In this way, more conditions can be included. Also, the else statement is optional. This means that in in the case of several else-if statements and no else statements, if any of the conditional statement is true, the associated commands are executed. Otherwise, nothing is executed. So that's all. I'm going to pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Muhammad Hanif Rosli and I'm from Group 2. So I will present about analysis and result for our group. So the question that we got is, you are in charge of an automated production of cola bottles in a beverage factory. The process produces 1,000 cola bottles for the first hour, which then increases to twice the size every hour. For example, 1,000 bottles every 1 hour, 2,000 bottles every 2 hours, 4,000 bottles every 3 hours, and so on. A daily production consists of maximum 5 hours of bottles production. You are required to make a decision on the process when bottles defect are defected at every hour of production. For example, when the defect exceeds 10 bottles per 1,000 production of bottles, you will have to reject the batch of the bottles produced. You will have to write a code for the factory operator to check on the production and defect quantity. The code should consider the following. A. Asking the operator to input hours of production and total defect defected from 1 hour minimum to 5 hours maximum. The results should be displayed as a table of hour and production. Use if, else, and structure to do this. B. Using if, else, and structure, analyze the defect based on the production hours. If the defect exceeds 10 or more bottles per 1,000 production bottles, specify reject batch of blank hour production as the output out text. Otherwise, specify send batch of blank hour production to inspection. So next, we will proceed to the solution for question A, the amount of bottle produced per hours. So we will type hours equal to input. Please enter hours produced in bracket 1 to 5 because the minimum hours is 1 and the maximum is 5 equal. So second, production equal to, this equation is for us to find the total production of bottles produced in that hours, in the chosen hours that we type in the previous input. So third, we have to make it as a table. So we will type table equals to hours apostrophe production apostrophe. So we will run it first. So what we will get, please enter the hours we produce. So we'll type 1 for the first hours. So what we will get is production 1,000 bottles per 1 hour. So for our hours 1, the production of the bottle is 1,000. So next we will proceed to the question B. So for question B, the defect based on production hours. So for this question, we will use if, else, and structure to find it. So for the first if in bracket hours is below or equal to 5. For the second command, display in bracket hours production. So to display the table, we will type in the command display in bracket table. So next, for the next command, we will type defect equals to input in bracket please enter number of bottle defected. So for this, we will input the total number of defected bottle produced in that particular hours. So next, we will type total production equal to. So for this question, we will use to find the total production of the defected bottle in that particular hours. So next, for the second if in bracket defect larger or equal to total production, that we will find it and later F in bracket reject batch of percentage 0.0 F our production. So for this we will define it as hours. So in command window, we will define it as hours, as if printf in bracket send batch of same as above our production to inspection. So the percentage we will define it as hours in command window. So we will type n, and then else if fprintf in bracket the hours entered not valid as term. So this will show when we put the hours larger than 5 or below than 1. So next we will type n. So I will save the file and run it. In the command window, it will appear as this. Please enter hours produced. So I will choose hour 1. So the total production of the bottle is 1000. So next, please enter number of bottle defected. So I will choose 5 bottle. So the total production is 10. This is the total production or the maximum production of the bottle defected that can be produced in hour 1. That is 10. So meaning that if there are many bottle defected that occur in hour 1 bigger than 10, the production will be rejected. Because of we choose 5 earlier, so 5 is lower than 10, so the outcome will be send batch of 1 hour production to inspection. But if we choose the bottle number defected 11, so the outcome will be reject batch of 1 hour production because of the bottle defected that we choose earlier is bigger than 10, the total maximum of bottle defected that can be produced in hour 1. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi, my name is Nurin Adina binti Abdulaziz and my matric number is 2000411. So today I'm gonna present my part, which is discussion. So based on the result, it shows that the program code that we already designed were able to solve the problem in a beverage factory. This program code was made to check on the production and defect quantity, and with this, we were able to make a decision on the process when products defect detected at every hour of production. It will be easy to determine whether to reject the batch of the products if the defected are more than the total of the production, or send the batch for further inspection using the program code that we designed. Furthermore, the program code that we create can assist the users by just entering the hours of production and total defect detected to determine either reject the batch or send the batch to inspection. However, there are several possible errors that might occur in writing the program code. First of all, as a student, we might forget to write the code and for if else and structure. When this happens, the program unable to run the code to get the answer, and the program will show warning or error in command window. So I will show in the octave on how the error happened. So for example, there is no n here. So let's see what will happen. Okay, it will show error here, syntax error, parse error near line 21, error and parse error. So this is how So this is one of the possible error that might happen. It is just a simple one, but as a student, we might forget this. So, as a student, we might also forget to write the code input to insert the input needed. And this will affect the answer of the program and did not get the answer that we wanted. In this case, the output also will be invalid because of the invalid input. The program will immediately respond and show warning or error in the command window. Okay, let's see. Let's say here we got to and to insert input here. Let's see what happened. Okay, here we show the warning in the command window. So this is how this is the possible errors that might happen in writing this program code. Other than that, we also might did not write the code fprintf. Okay. Fprintf for the output needed. So the output for this program will be invalid. When this happens, Octave will respond immediately with a message as shown in the command window. I will show this later. This error message has several parts and give quite a bit information to help us locate the source of the error. And the message are generated from the point of the innermost error and provide a traceback of enclosing expression. Okay, for example, we forget to write fprintf here or here. Okay, let's see what happened in command window. Okay, this will happen in command window. It shows that it is an error at the reject batch of our production, and so we know that we make a mistake at the reject batch. So when this happens, we can detect it earlier. So in addition, insert semicolon at the end of a condition might be possible error that we did. For example, here, if we put a semicolon, it will telling the interpreter to consider that as the end of the if here. If statement. So any code following that will be processed without getting regard for the outcome of that if condition. If we are getting an error about else, it is because of what have been told to the interpreter that the semicolon was end of the statement. So when it finds the else a few lines later, it will start complaining. So besides, students could also do a common mistake such as misspell or miscapitalize. For example, this if, else, and words instead of small letter. If this happens, the program will unable to run the code and it will show that the error in the command window. Okay, let's see what happened if it capital letter. Okay. It will show that this is an error. This is pass error. So for most pass errors, Octave use a caret. Caret means that this symbol, to mark the point on the line where it was unable to make sense of the input. The caret mark the error at else if. Here, if we see in the command window, it mark the caret at the else if. Why? Because if we make it a capital letter for if here at the editor window, the else if will be the first name by itself that was accepted as a valid input. With all those response of errors message, we could design a program code to avoid these mistakes to happen again. First of all, for if else and structure, we fix the problem that will happen before, which is we did not insert the and at the end of the statement. So to prevent this happen again, we would never forget to insert the and again. So other than that, we also design a program code for input and printf to limit the precision to which numeric data is displayed as the output and which data is needed as the input. Here, input and fprintfm. Lastly, to avoid any errors to happen, we also design a program code that did not insert the semicolon at the end of is and else statement, because it might tell the program that it is the end of if or else statement, such as for example here. Okay, and this is because the program code after that, for example, if we put semicolon here, the code after that will be affected and it will get the wrong answer for the users. And lastly, we fix the problem here, which is the capital letter for if. We change it into the small letters for if, so it will be the perfect code. So let's see if this is right. Okay, for example, okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Nabila binti Maisuf and my metric number is 201080. I will share with you the recommendations needed for if, else, as if and structure, which explore the current and future application for the program code. If, else, is and structure works as it executes a block of code if a specified condition is true. If the condition is false, another block of code can be executed in command window. The if-else structure, which is the simplest structure, can be used in daily lives. For example, for the watering plants indication, which will be shown in the octave. Let's take a look at the example of watering the plants indication by using the if-else and structure. For this file, I will name the file as weather.mfile. So we put the weather equals to input. In bracket, we put how is the weather today. And then we put for the number 1, weather, it is sunny. And the number 2 is raining. And then we use the structure of if, else and structure. We put if weather is equals to 1. So F-printf, water your plants. For else, F-printf, let the sky waters your plant. So let's run this file. So you will see at the command window the file where the file will be run, and the question is, how is the weather today? Number 1 sunny, number 2 rainy. So let's choose number 2. Okay, and it will show the output, the second output, which is the let the sky waters your plants. We can run this file again by typing CLC and clear to clear out any last data, and then we run this file again, the weather file. Okay, so you will see the question again, how is the weather today? Sunny and rainy. So I choose 1. So the output, the first output will be shown, which is water your plants. Now I will show to you the recommendation of if, else, else if, and structure. The recommendation of this structure can be used for COVID-19 test inspection. I choose the topic of COVID-19 test inspection because as the number of cases keep on increasing every day, I believe that there will be higher number of admittance to COVID-19 quarantine center. I believe that this block of code can help to ease the admittance of the patients to the quarantine center. So the block of code can be shown on Octave later on. So let's take a look at the example of if, else, else if, and structure. For this structure, I use the topic of COVID-19 test inspection. So the first one is I put database in bracket ABC 123 5000 DEF 123 6000 QEE 345 6000. This database helps to let the user put any characters or numbers for the next command. So I put for the next command is m equals to input, please enter your name, and input, please enter your identification card number. So I named this file as CBT because the COVID test is what we want to find out. So CBT, which stands for COVID test, equals to input, have you done swab test before? So I put the options yes or no for the users to choose. So I start to use the if else structure first. So I put if CBT equals to 1, F-printf, please do self-quarantine while waiting for the results, hashtag stay at home, else F-printf, please do the swab test now, and we put n. For the second one, I put result equals to input, enter your COVID-19 result. I let the users to have 3 options to choose, which is number 3 pending, number 4 positive, number 5 negative. So if the user choose number 3, the output will be please wait for the results. Thank you. If the user choose number 4, there will be output of you may receive the treatment now, get well soon. Else if F-printf, if the result is negative, please do the second swab test for confirmation. And I put n here, and I put lastly else here. F-printf, thank you for your cooperation, hashtag kita jaga kita. So I will try to run this file now to see how it works. So CBT, please enter your name. I can put my name here is Nabila binti Yusuf. So the command window asks me to enter my identification card number. So in this video, I won't show you my real identification number. I will just put random number. Here I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so The question first is, have you done swab test before? Let's say I put yes here. So I put number 1. So please do self-quarantine while waiting for the result. Stay at home. And then they ask me to put my result. Here. So I put number 3, pending. So please wait for the result. Thank you. If the result is negative, please do the second swab test for confirmation. So this is how it works. Okay, I can run it one more time. So let's say if I want to run it one more time, I have to type in CLC. Do not caps lock it. CLC and clear. So we go to editor window and run it one more time. So it asks me to please enter your name. So let's say I put other names. It can be let's say I put my group mate's name, Muhammad Hanif bin Rosli. Okay, and then it asks to put identification card number. Let's say I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, have you done swab test before? Let's say he choose no. Please do the swab test now. Enter your COVID result. Let's say he claimed himself to be free of COVID-19, so he put negative. So thank you for your cooperation. Hashtag kita jaga kita. So this is how it works. The window and the commands of the topic of COVID-19 test inspection, which I recommend for this project. Thank you very much. In short, I believe that there is a room for improvement for this coding block, which can be done by experts and specialists in this field. And I hope that everyone can stay safe, stay at home, and free of COVID-19. And I hope that our country can survive from this pandemic. Thank you very much, and bye.
So I will continue to the last part, which is conclusion. So to be concluded, the output results obtained are accurate as the program codes ran very well. This is shown in the analysis and result part, which our group successfully find the output as output answer as the question asked. And then find solution were designed for every possible error that may happen while conducting the program code. In the discussion part, we have found several errors that may happen, but at the same time, we found the best solution for the user to solve their problem successfully. And then several recommendations stated could be considered in enhancing future use in industry or real life. We have brainstorming to find several recommendations in order to help the user for keep continuously using the Octave or MATLAB in solving a problem as they needed. I think that's all from us. Thank you.